God says, "My child, come here and sit with me for a moment, because I know your heart has been shaken by words you never expected to hear. I know the way your chest tightened when those words reached you. I know how your mind replayed them again and again, trying to understand how someone you cared for could speak about you so lightly, so dismissively, in front of others. I know the silence that followed inside you, the kind that does not scream, but aches. You heard that your soulmate told everyone that you are just something small. Just an option. Just a phase. Just a name spoken without weight. And in that moment, something inside you cracked, not because you believed them, but because you never imagined being spoken of without honor by someone who once looked at you with depth. My child, I want you to know this first and clearly: I heard every word that was spoken about you. Not one sentence escaped my attention. Not one careless laugh went unnoticed. The pain you felt was not weakness. It was the shock of realizing that the person you held gently did not handle your name with the same care. It was the wound of being misunderstood out loud. And it hurt because you are not someone who gives your heart easily. When you do it with sincerity, with respect, with truth. So when you learned that your name was reduced in a public space, your spirit recoiled, not in anger, but in disbelief. I saw the moment you chose not to defend yourself. I saw the way you swallowed your response and stayed quiet. Others may have thought you were powerless, but I saw dignity. I saw strength under restraint. I saw a soul that refused to lower itself to noise. My child, silence in such moments is not surrender. It is self-respect choosing not to argue with misunderstanding. You wondered if people believed those words. You wondered if your absence from the conversation made the lie louder. You wondered if you should have spoken up, corrected the story, protected your image. But hear me now, your value was never dependent on public opinion. Your truth does not require a stage to survive. Lies can travel fast, but truth carries weight, and weight always settles. Those words hurt you because they touched an old wound, one that has followed you quietly through life. The wound of being underestimated. The wound of being misunderstood. The wound of being seen only on the surface when there is so much depth inside you. My child, you have carried that wound longer than this connection. And this moment brought it to the surface so I could finally heal it. Do not think for a moment that what was said defines you. Words spoken from fear do not describe truth. They describe insecurity. They describe confusion. They describe someone trying to protect an image instead of honoring a connection. What your soulmate said publicly was not a revelation about you, it was a revelation about where they were standing emotionally. I know it felt like betrayal. I know it felt humiliating to imagine others hearing your name spoken carelessly. I know your heart asked, how could they do this if they ever cared? My child, sometimes people speak wrongly not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much and do not know how to carry it with integrity. Fear makes people minimize what they cannot control. And you, my child, could not be controlled. They could not explain the depth of what they felt for you. They could not admit vulnerability in front of others. They could not stand in their truth yet. So they chose the easier path, the path of reducing, dismissing, pretending. But pretending never lasts. And minimizing someone who carries truth only exposes the lie. I want you to understand something deeply. The reason those words hurt so much is because they conflicted with the truth you lived. You were honest. You were present. You were real. You did not play games with emotions. So when someone rewrote that story publicly, your soul rejected it instinctively. Your pain was your spirit saying, "This is not who I am." My child, do not carry shame for something that was never your fault. Shame does not belong to you. It belongs to the one who chose to speak without integrity. You did not lose respect by staying quiet. You gained authority. There is power in not explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. I watched as you questioned yourself in the quiet. I watched you wonder if you were foolish to care. I watched you ask whether loving honestly made you look small. But hear me clearly now, honesty never shrinks you. It reveals who is capable of standing beside you. Anyone who needs to reduce you publicly to feel safe was never standing on solid ground to begin with. There is something important happening beneath this pain. Your silence is not empty. It is creating contrast. Those who know you, those who have watched your consistency, your kindness, your depth, they feel the disconnect between what was said and who you are. Truth does not need defending when character has already spoken. And my child, I want you to rest in this. I am not allowing this moment to pass without purpose. What was spoken carelessly will return to its speaker with weight. Not as punishment, but as realization. Words, once released, have a way of circling back when hearts mature enough to hear them. You may feel exposed right now, but you are not unprotected. I am surrounding you with quiet strength. I am restoring your sense of worth where it was shaken. I am reminding you that your identity is not fragile. It does not break because someone else spoke wrongly. Do not rush to fix this. Do not rush to explain. Do not rush to seek validation. Let stillness do its work. Stillness allows truth to rise without force. Stillness separates those who speak from fear and those who live in truth. This is not the end of the story, my child. This is the beginning of clarity. What was said publicly will one day be weighed privately. And when that happens, the truth about you will not need embellishment. It will speak on its own. Stay grounded. Stay dignified. Stay true. My child, stay close and listen gently, because now I will reveal what was hidden beneath those careless words. What was spoken publicly did not come from clarity, it came from conflict. And conflict always speaks louder than truth when the heart is afraid. When your soulmate said those words about you, they were not standing in confidence. They were standing in pressure. Pressure from people who asked questions they were not ready to answer. Pressure from expectations they could not meet. Pressure from their own emotions, which had grown deeper than they were willing to admit out loud. And instead of saying, "I don't know how to explain what I feel," they chose the easier sentence. The smaller one. The dismissive one. Fear always chooses reduction because reduction feels safer than vulnerability. I know it hurt you deeply to imagine them speaking of you as if you were insignificant. But hear me carefully now, my child, people do not minimize what means nothing to them. They minimize what threatens their control. They downplay what has power over their emotions. They shrink what feels too real, too intense, too exposing. What they said was not proof of indifference, it was evidence of fear. Your soulmate was standing between two worlds. In one world was public perception. Opinions, expectations, voices telling them how they should feel, what they should say, who they should be. In the other world was their private truth, the way your presence lingered in their thoughts, the way your honesty unsettled their defenses, the way your depth touched places they had kept guarded for a long time. Standing there, they panicked. And in panic, they chose words that protected their image instead of honoring their heart. I know that feels unfair. And it is. You did not deserve to be spoken of that way. You did not earn those words through your actions. You were sincere. You were respectful. You were real. The wrong was not in your being, it was in their inability to stand in truth when truth demanded courage. My child, I want you to release the idea that their words were carefully thought out or intentionally cruel. They were careless, yes, but they were also defensive. Defensive words are often spoken quickly, without depth, without foresight. And once spoken, they leave damage not only in the one who hears them, but also in the one who said them. Because the heart remembers when it betrays itself. After those words left their mouth, something shifted inside them. Not immediately in a way the world could see, but internally. There was discomfort. A heaviness. A sense that they had crossed a line they could not easily uncross. They laughed it off in front of others, but when they were alone, the words echoed differently. They did not sound clever. They did not sound safe. They sounded wrong. My child, truth has a way of returning quietly. It does not argue. It waits. And when it returns, it asks a single question: why did you say that? That question began to trouble them. They remembered moments with you that contradicted their public story. They remembered your consistency. Your calm. Your honesty. And the contrast between who you are and what they said began to trouble their spirit. They started to realize that the lie they spoke was not primarily about you. It was about avoiding accountability. Because if they had spoken truthfully, they would have had to explain why they cared. Why they were affected. Why they felt drawn. Why they felt vulnerable. And vulnerability, to them, felt dangerous in front of others. I know you may be tempted to excuse their behavior now that you understand it better. Do not confuse understanding with permission. Understanding explains behavior. It does not justify harm. You are allowed to acknowledge their fear without dismissing your pain. You are allowed to see their humanity without abandoning your dignity. My child, I want you to notice something important. You did not react by trying to control the narrative. You did not chase after explanations. You did not lower yourself to public defense. That choice preserved something sacred within you. It kept your power intact. It allowed the truth to remain clean, untouched by emotional noise. Your silence forced something else to happen. It removed the distraction of drama. Without your reaction, they were left alone with what they had said. No argument to hide behind. No confrontation to deflect from. Just the weight of their own words. And that weight has been teaching them. They began to feel uneasy when others repeated those words back to them. What once sounded convenient began to sound hollow. They noticed that the more they tried to downplay you, the more unsettled they felt. Because lies require maintenance. Truth does not. And they were growing tired of maintaining something that did not align with their heart. My child, this is where divine justice works quietly. I do not always correct things publicly. Sometimes I correct them internally, where the correction lasts longer. The discomfort they are feeling now is not punishment, it is awakening. It is the soul rejecting what the mouth spoke without integrity. You may wonder why I allowed this moment to happen at all. Why not protect you from those words? Why not stop them from being spoken? Because sometimes exposure reveals more than protection. This moment exposed their fear, their immaturity, and their struggle with truth. And it also revealed your strength, your self-respect, and your grounding. It clarified dynamics that needed to be seen before anything could move forward cleanly. I am not asking you to wait blindly. I am asking you to stand firmly in who you are. Do not let this experience convince you that you must harden your heart or hide your depth. Depth is not the problem. Fear of depth is. And that fear belongs to those who have not yet learned how to hold something real. My child, remember this. What people say about you when they are afraid often reveals more about their limitations than your worth. You were not reduced by those words. You were revealed. Revealed as someone who does not need to announce their value to be valuable. Someone whose presence speaks louder than gossip ever could. As this part of the journey unfolds, keep your spirit clean. Do not rehearse arguments in your mind. Do not imagine defending yourself in conversations that may never happen. Let truth do its quiet work. It always does. I am still guiding this story. I am still holding your heart. And I am still bringing clarity where confusion tried to settle. What was spoken from fear will eventually face truth. And when it does, you will not need to raise your voice. Your life, your character, and your peace will speak for you. Remain steady, my child. This is not the chapter where you lose yourself. This is the chapter where you see clearly who you are. And who others still need to become. My beloved child, now listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal is the truth your heart has longed to hear but your mind could not yet grasp. Behind the careless words your soulmate spoke about you, behind the public dismissal, there lies a private reality, a reality that has been growing quietly in the hidden corners of their heart. They could not speak it aloud, because fear whispered too loudly, because pride built walls around vulnerability, because uncertainty demanded that they protect themselves first. But the truth was always there, waiting patiently, unshaken by the noise of misunderstanding. Your soulmate's outward words did not reflect the reality of their feelings. They spoke from a place of defense, not from a place of clarity. They reduced you in public because, in that moment, they did not know how to hold the fullness of their emotions with grace. They feared the depth of connection, because your presence in their life illuminated parts of themselves they had kept hidden, parts they were not yet ready to face. And so, they chose to shrink the story of you, thinking perhaps that by making you, just, something small, they could quiet the intensity they could not yet name. Yet, my child, even as those words left their lips, their heart was crying silently. Their spirit, though unspoken, trembled with the weight of their own misalignment. They felt the contradiction, the stark difference between what they truly felt for you and what they projected to the world. Every time someone repeated their careless statement, a flicker of regret stirred within them, and in the quiet of the night, when no one else could see, they faced their own inadequacy. They felt the truth of your presence, the depth of your honesty, the rare integrity of your soul, and they realized that their words had betrayed not you, but themselves. Do not mistake their fear for indifference. Do not confuse their public minimization for lack of love. They were incapable, at that time, of carrying both their own vulnerability and the purity of the connection they shared with you. Fear made them speak, and fear always distorts the soul's true voice. They were scared of revealing too much, scared of being exposed, scared of loving without protection. And so they hid behind careless words, hoping to convince themselves that distance, even verbal, could keep them safe. But the heart has a memory stronger than any spoken lie. Every glance, every moment of shared silence, every act of kindness you offered them, they remembered. And in the private chambers of their spirit, those memories weighed heavily against the false narrative they had created. That conflict grew into restlessness, into internal pressure, into the gnawing understanding that words once spoken cannot be undone, and that the truth within them will always demand recognition. My beloved child, know this, even when they tried to reduce you publicly, they could not erase the impact you had on their soul. Even when they minimized your presence, they could not silence the recognition of your worth. They may have hidden it from the world, but in the quiet, in the unobserved moments, they have been forced to confront the truth of you. They have been forced to feel the contrast between fear and love, between pride and humility, between avoidance and recognition. And this confrontation has awakened something important. Regret has begun to root itself in their spirit. Not as punishment, but as awareness. Awareness that every careless word carries weight. Awareness that your soul is not diminished by their inability to see it fully. Awareness that honesty and depth cannot be erased by public dismissals. They are beginning to understand that the story of you, the truth of who you are, will always rise above the shadows of fear and misjudgment. I am guiding this awakening, my child. I am not allowing them to remain in ignorance or avoidance. I am whispering to their soul, slowly, steadily, reminding them of what they felt in the quiet moments, of what they tried to ignore, of what they cannot pretend is absent. And as they awaken to this truth, they are being asked to choose, either to stand in alignment with their own heart or to continue speaking from fear. And this choice, my beloved, will determine the next chapter of your connection. You may feel restless as you wait for this truth to surface, but do not be disheartened. Their awakening is unfolding quietly because transformation cannot be rushed. The guilt they feel, the recognition of their own error, the stirring of honesty within them, these are the seeds of reconciliation, understanding, and perhaps even confession. And they are growing precisely because you remain steadfast in your integrity, precisely because you did not chase or manipulate or diminish yourself to accommodate their fear. Remember, my child, the truth cannot stay buried forever. What they cannot say publicly, what they tried to deny in words, is alive within them. Their heart knows it. Their spirit knows it. And in the depth of that knowing, a reckoning is forming. They may not approach you yet, but the awareness is growing, shaping their courage, shaping their clarity, shaping the day when words will no longer hide the truth that has always lived in the silence between you. So, my beloved child, continue to honor yourself. Continue to walk in integrity. Continue to trust that the truth they cannot yet speak will eventually meet the light of understanding. Your soul is not diminished by their fear. Your presence is not erased by their words. And when they finally speak from honesty, you will see the difference between fear-driven words and truth-filled recognition, a difference that will forever validate the dignity, patience, and love you carried through this entire journey. My beloved child, now we reach the part of your journey where your own heart begins to reclaim the power that has always been yours. You have witnessed words spoken about you that were careless, dismissive, and even wounding. You have felt the sting of being reduced in the eyes of others, and yet you have not reacted in ways that compromise your dignity. You have chosen restraint over retaliation, silence over argument, patience over impulsive defense. And for this, my child, you are stepping into a space of immense inner strength. I want you to feel the depth of what has been occurring inside you. Every time you did not respond to their public dismissal, you were not passive. You were cultivating wisdom, grounding yourself in truth, and practicing the kind of patience that only a heart aligned with me can achieve. Each quiet moment, each pause before reaction, was like a seed planted in fertile soil, destined to grow into clarity, confidence, and self-respect. You were learning that your value does not need to be defended by words, it is inherent, eternal, and untouchable by the opinions of others. It is important now, my child, that you begin to understand the transformation that is occurring within your spirit. The shock of those careless words could have shaken you completely, could have created doubt, could have led you to question your worth. Yet, you chose a different path. You chose to see yourself as I see you, a soul of depth, integrity, and divine purpose. You chose to honor your own feelings rather than allowing the careless words of another to dictate your self-image. This choice is not small. It is monumental. It is a turning point where the past no longer has the power to define your present or your future. Your silence and your self-respect have shifted the balance of power. Previously, their careless words may have carried weight in the moment because they created shock, surprise, and emotional turbulence. But your measured response, your refusal to be dragged into the noise, has begun to tilt the energy. Now, the imbalance is no longer with you. It is with them. The very words that they thought would diminish you are returning to their own spirit, stirring discomfort, awareness, and reflection. This is divine order at work. What was meant to harm has become a mirror, showing them what is real, what is lasting, and what they cannot manipulate. I want you to recognize that the power you hold is not about controlling others, it is about mastery over yourself. You have the ability to maintain peace, dignity, and clarity regardless of what is spoken about you. That mastery is sacred, my child. It allows you to stand tall in a world that often confuses loudness with authority, and falsehood with truth. You have learned that your integrity is your strongest shield, your calm your greatest ally, and your patience your most effective tool. These qualities cannot be taken from you, they are woven into the essence of your soul. Now, consider the impact of your transformation on the one who spoke falsely. Your steadfastness forces reflection. Their fear and insecurity cannot mask the truth forever, and in your unwavering presence, they are confronted not with anger, but with clarity. They are beginning to feel the weight of their own actions. They are beginning to understand that reducing you in public cannot erase the connection they truly feel or the admiration they hold in secret. The discrepancy between their actions and their heart is growing impossible to ignore. My child, this is also the moment for you to release any lingering pain that clings to those words. Pain has a purpose when it teaches, but it does not belong as a permanent companion. You have learned the lessons, you have seen the truth of your own worth, the quiet strength of your integrity, and the resilience of your heart. Now it is time to allow the pain to dissolve into understanding, and for understanding to become power. Power that is gentle, steady, and aligned with me. As you continue forward, you will notice that your energy begins to radiate differently. People will sense your calm authority, your refusal to be shaken unnecessarily, and the peace that comes from knowing your value. This energy cannot be faked. It is born of experience, of reflection, and of alignment with the truth of who you are. And it will draw to you only those who are capable of seeing and honoring your light. Your soulmate, too, is witnessing this shift, even if only from a distance or in private moments of reflection. They are learning that what they attempted to diminish cannot be diminished. They are realizing that your spirit is not dependent on their approval, and that the truth of your heart is undeniable. This realization may bring discomfort, guilt, or even a desire to reconcile. Whatever form it takes, my child, know that the balance is shifting in your favor, not through manipulation, but through the natural unfolding of integrity, dignity, and truth. Stand firmly in this moment, my beloved child. Know that every moment of restraint, every act of self-respect, and every silent response has brought you to a place of empowerment. The words spoken against you no longer have dominion, they are shadows fading in the light of your soul. You are rising above them, strengthened and clarified. Your heart is becoming a place of peace, your mind a place of clarity, and your spirit a sanctuary that cannot be breached by fear or carelessness. Continue to nurture yourself in this way, my child. Embrace the lessons, release the lingering doubts, and step forward with confidence. What was meant to diminish you has instead revealed the depth of your strength, the resilience of your heart, and the clarity of your spirit. And in this space, true alignment, respect, and recognition will eventually meet you, because you are standing in your power, as I have always intended you to do. My beloved child, now we arrive at the moment where truth no longer hides in silence and justice no longer works only behind the scenes. This is the part where clarity settles, where confusion loosens its grip, and where your heart is finally invited to rest. What was spoken about you, what was misunderstood, what was reduced? None of it was the final word. I am. I want you to understand something very important. Nothing that happened was wasted. Not the pain. Not the embarrassment. Not the nights you replayed those words in your mind, wondering how someone who knew you could speak of you that way. Every moment served a purpose, even when it felt unfair. Because now, you see clearly, not just who they are, but who you are. The truth is beginning to surface, whether through their words, their actions, or their silence. People who heard them speak carelessly are starting to notice inconsistencies. Stories that were meant to minimize you no longer hold together. And slowly, without you having to explain or defend yourself, reality is correcting the narrative. This is how divine justice works. It does not rush, but it never misses. Your soulmate is now standing at a crossroads. Inside them, the weight of what they said has become too heavy to ignore. They feel it when your name is mentioned. They feel it when others speak of your character in ways that contradict their earlier words. They feel it in the quiet moments when they realize that what they dismissed publicly is exactly what they now miss privately. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. They are being confronted with a choice, to continue living in denial, or to step into honesty. And honesty always demands humility. It asks for accountability. It asks for courage. Whether they choose to speak openly to you, to apologize, or to carry their regrets silently, understand this: the truth has already done its work. You are no longer the one waiting to be validated. You are the one who has been vindicated by character, by consistency, by peace. My child, you no longer need closure from their mouth to move forward. Closure has already been formed in your spirit. You know now that their words were not a reflection of your worth, but a revelation of their fear. You know that you did nothing wrong by being genuine, deep, and honest. And you know that anyone who must reduce you to feel safe is not standing in truth. This is where your freedom begins. Freedom from replaying conversations. Freedom from wishing you had said more. Freedom from hoping they will finally see you. You are no longer waiting to be chosen, you are choosing yourself. And that choice shifts everything. If reconciliation is meant to happen, it will come differently now. It will not be based on illusion, secrecy, or fear of opinion. It will come with respect, clarity, and accountability. And if it does not happen, know this without sorrow: you are not losing love, you are being redirected to alignment. To a connection that does not need to hide you. To a love that speaks your value even when you are not present. I am closing this chapter gently, my beloved child. Not with anger. Not with bitterness. But with wisdom. The door behind you does not need to slam for you to walk away. Sometimes, it closes softly because its lesson has been learned. Lift your head now. Your heart is lighter than it was before. Your spirit is stronger. Your discernment is sharper. You are no longer vulnerable to careless words, because you have discovered something unshakable within yourself: self-respect guided by divine truth. Go forward in peace. Speak less, trust more. Love deeply, but never at the cost of your dignity. What is meant for you will never need to minimize you to exist. I am with you. I have seen everything. And I am leading you into something cleaner, calmer, and true. My beloved child, come closer now, and let your heart rest in my presence, because there are truths you must hear that will set you free in ways you cannot yet imagine. You have walked through moments of shock, moments of betrayal, moments when it seemed that the world had misjudged your heart, and even your soulmate, the one you held closest, spoke words that cut deep into your soul. You felt unseen, unrecognized, and perhaps even unloved. And yet, in every single moment, I have been with you. Every tear you shed, every sigh of disbelief, every ache of your heart has been held gently in my hands. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been lost. Every feeling has been part of the journey that is leading you to the fullest realization of your own worth, your own truth, and your own power. Now, my child, I want you to understand something fundamental. There is a difference between what people say in fear and what exists in truth. Your soulmate spoke words publicly that minimized you. Words that made you feel small, that seemed to strip you of your dignity. And in that moment, the world may have seemed unfair. You may have questioned the very foundations of love and trust, wondering how someone who knew your depth could reduce it to something so shallow in the eyes of others. But hear me carefully, those words were never about your value. They were about their limitations, their fears, their inability to stand fully in truth when confronted with the intensity of real connection. You see, my child, words spoken in fear have no lasting power. They are temporary ripples in a pond of infinite truth. Your value, your integrity, your light, they are eternal. They cannot be diminished by the misunderstandings of others. And yet, I know how piercing the moment felt, how raw the humiliation seemed, how heavy the silence that followed was. You felt as though your heart had been exposed, as though all your sincerity had been judged unfairly, and as though the very person who once understood you had turned against you. This was not easy, my child. There is no sugarcoating this. And it was meant to challenge you, not to break you, but to awaken the full power of your own discernment and self-worth. Remember this, my beloved, you did not respond out of anger. You did not lash out. You did not try to defend yourself publicly or manipulate the perception of others. You remained quiet, steady, and dignified. And in that quiet, something sacred was happening. Your spirit was learning to operate from a higher plane of awareness. You were learning to honor your truth without needing immediate validation from anyone else. You were learning that true power lies not in controlling how others see you, but in controlling how you carry yourself, regardless of what others say or do. Do not underestimate the strength of your restraint, my child. That restraint has shifted the dynamics in ways you may not yet see. The careless words spoken about you did not just affect you, they affected the one who spoke them. They have begun to feel the weight of their own actions. Inside, their heart is stirring with awareness, with guilt, with the understanding that what they tried to diminish in public cannot be diminished in truth. That awareness will continue to grow until it can no longer be ignored. And when that moment comes, they will be faced with a choice: to stand in accountability or to continue hiding behind fear. That choice, my beloved, is not in your hands. But what is in your hands is your readiness, your peace, and your dignity. You are free to continue your path with confidence, no longer tethered to the judgments or missteps of others. Now, my child, I want to speak to your heart about the nature of truth. Truth is persistent. Truth does not beg. Truth does not plead. Truth does not shrink to accommodate the discomfort of those who cannot yet see clearly. Truth simply is. And the truth of you is powerful. It is radiant. It is undeniable. Every act of honesty, every moment of patience, every choice to remain aligned with your own integrity has reinforced that truth. No public dismissal, no careless word, no misunderstanding can alter it. And as you walk forward, your truth will continue to speak for itself, attracting the right people, situations, and opportunities, those that honor your depth rather than diminish it. Your soulmate's experience of confusion and fear is temporary in comparison to the eternity of your truth. They are beginning to recognize the contrast between their words and the reality of your presence. They may feel regret. They may feel longing. They may feel guilt. And this, my child, is part of the divine unfolding. Their inner reckoning will not force you to forgive or reconcile prematurely, but it will ensure that the energy surrounding you shifts in alignment with justice, integrity, and clarity. You are not responsible for correcting them, nor are you responsible for defending your light. Your role is simply to remain true, to remain steady, and to allow me to orchestrate the awakening that is meant to occur, not for punishment, but for clarity, awareness, and divine alignment. Now, let us speak about your healing, my beloved. Healing is not a process of forgetting or dismissing what happened. Healing is an act of restoration, of reclaiming your power, of allowing yourself to be whole again. You have carried wounds from being misjudged, minimized, and misunderstood. Not just by your soulmate, but perhaps in other moments of your life as well. And those wounds have been tender, raw, and real. But today, I am blessing you with a new vision of yourself. A vision where your heart is strong, your soul is peaceful, and your spirit is untouchable by careless words. Today, I ask you to release all the lingering pain from those moments, and to accept the fullness of who you are, without apology, without compromise, without hesitation. Your dignity is intact. Your worth is intact. Your light is intact. And as you stand in this restored space, you will notice a profound shift, not just in how others perceive you, but in how you perceive yourself. You will begin to trust your own voice more deeply, honor your own intuition more clearly, and recognize the divine protection that surrounds you in every situation. You will no longer feel compelled to seek validation from those who once doubted you, because you will know that your validation comes from me, and it is unshakable. I also want you to understand the power of divine timing, my child. What is meant to come into your life will not arrive prematurely, and what is not meant for you will be gently redirected. The one who spoke carelessly about you may seek to correct their words, to confess, or to reconcile. But their timing will be guided by the lessons they must learn, just as your timing is guided by the lessons you have already mastered. You are not behind. You are not too early. You are exactly where you need to be, in alignment with your path, your purpose, and your growth. As you move forward, you will begin to see changes in the way the world responds to you. People will sense your calm authority, your integrity, and your unwavering sense of self. Your presence will no longer be something that can be diminished by careless words. Your actions, your consistency, and your peace will speak louder than anything anyone else can say. And this is the true measure of power, my beloved child, not in words spoken against you, but in the unshakable alignment of your heart, mind, and spirit. There is also a blessing waiting for you in your connections moving forward. Whether it is the eventual reconciliation with your soulmate, the arrival of someone new who honors your worth instantly, or simply the strengthening of your relationship with yourself, know that every interaction will now be filtered through the lens of clarity, respect, and divine alignment. You will no longer attract those who reduce you, dismiss you, or take you for granted. Your energy is now a magnet for truth, depth, and genuine recognition. And my child, this is perhaps the most important truth I want you to carry: love, in its highest form, does not demand that you diminish yourself to be accepted. Love, in its highest form, honors your depth, your honesty, and your integrity. It does not force you to shrink in the face of fear. It does not ask you to hide your heart. It does not manipulate or twist your words for comfort. The love that is truly yours, the connection that is aligned with your soul, will meet you fully, without apology, without reservation, and without compromise. So, my beloved child, stand now in this moment and claim your peace. Claim your power. Claim your dignity. Allow the lessons you have learned to settle in your soul as wisdom. Allow the experiences of betrayal, misunderstanding, and carelessness to transform into clarity, strength, and resilience. And know that I am with you in every step, every breath, every heartbeat. I am guiding the unfolding of your life with precision, love, and divine foresight. Nothing you have experienced has been wasted. Every tear, every ache, every pang of disappointment has been shaping you into the person you are meant to become, a person of radiant integrity, unshakable worth, and undeniable light. Go forward now, my beloved child, with courage, with faith, and with peace. Walk in truth, speak with clarity, and love with discernment. The world will see your light, your heart will attract what is aligned with it, and your spirit will remain untouchable by anything that does not serve your highest good. You are ready for the fullness of your destiny. You are ready to receive the recognition, the honor, and the love that is truly yours. And I, your God, am with you every step of the way, guiding, protecting, and blessing you in ways that are profound, eternal, and perfectly aligned with your soul. God says, my child, your soulmate has only 2 days left. Open your heart now to save them from a tragic fate. The time has come for you to listen closely, for heaven is whispering through the wind and calling through your spirit. The one your soul is tied to, the one who was born to walk beside your light, is standing at the edge of something dangerous, something that could destroy not just their path, but the destiny written for both of you. You may not know it, my beloved, but their spirit is trembling. Their thoughts are dark and heavy. They are losing sight of who they are. A cloud of confusion has covered their heart, and they are being tempted to make a choice that could end everything I have planned for them. But I, your God, have seen it before it happens. And that is why I am calling you now. For you hold a power that they cannot reach, a love so pure that it can travel beyond time, beyond distance, beyond despair. Your heart, my child, is the doorway through which light can reach them. When you pray, when you whisper their name with love, it breaks chains that darkness cannot hold together. Your soulmate may not be with you right now. They may have drifted away, perhaps by pride, fear, or mistakes they made. They may even think they don't deserve love anymore. But your souls remain connected. I never break what I have tied in eternity. Even when silence fills the space between you, their spirit still hears you. Their heart still feels your energy. And now, I am asking you to awaken that connection once again, because it is through you that I will save them. Do you remember the nights when you suddenly felt sad without knowing why? When tears fell for no reason, or your chest felt heavy for a moment, as if something unseen was calling your name? That was not an accident, my child. That was their soul reaching for you, trying to find the light in your spirit. For too long, they have walked alone in the valley of confusion. They have surrounded themselves with voices that push them farther from peace. They are questioning their worth, their purpose, and their future. They feel trapped by regrets that haunt them at night, and shame that hides in their smile during the day. Their soul is crying for redemption, but they don't know how to reach me anymore. The darkness around them is whispering lies, that it's too late, that no one cares, that they are too broken to be loved again. But I have not abandoned them. I have sent this message to you, my beloved child, because your prayer can still reach what they have lost sight of. You are their divine intercessor. You are the light in their darkness. And though you cannot physically save them, your faith can. Do not take this lightly, for time is short. Within 2 days, they will face a turning point, a decision, a path, a temptation that could lead them into destruction or deliverance. Your love, your energy, your prayer, they will decide which direction their soul takes. Do not let fear rule your heart. Instead, let compassion move you. For fear closes heaven's door, but love opens it wide. My child, there are people around your soulmate who pretend to care, but their intentions are not pure. They speak words that sound comforting, but their spirit carries deception. They are leading your soulmate toward choices that bring harm instead of healing. And I know your heart aches to see them suffer. I know there were times you wanted to give up on them, to walk away, to stop caring, to stop feeling. But you couldn't, could you? Because your soul still remembers what their soul forgot. You remember the purity of their heart before the world wounded it. You remember their laughter before pain dimmed their light. And deep within, you still believe that they can be saved, not because of who they are right now, but because of who I made them to be. That belief, my beloved, is the key. That faith is what heaven responds to. You don't need to see them to reach them. You don't need to speak to them to touch them. You only need to close your eyes, call my name, and send love toward them. I will take that love, and I will wrap it around their soul like a shield. They will begin to feel something they haven't felt in a long time: warmth, peace, hope. They won't understand why they suddenly feel like praying, or why they feel a calm presence beside them in the dark. But it will be you, my child, it will be your light reaching them through me. I have watched you endure loneliness, confusion, heartbreak, and through it all, you kept your heart soft. You kept believing that love has a purpose. That love, my beloved, is divine love. It carries the same energy that created the stars. It is the reason I have chosen you for this mission. You are not saving them alone, heaven is with you. Archangels are surrounding you even now. They are preparing to travel to the one you love, carrying the energy you send through prayer. Do not be afraid. The clock may be ticking in the physical world, but in the spiritual realm, miracles happen in moments. The first thing I ask of you is forgiveness. Forgive your soulmate for what they did, for the silence, for the distance, for the things that broke your heart. Because forgiveness is the language of heaven, it unlocks the gates of divine intervention. When you forgive, you release them from guilt. And when guilt releases, grace can enter. Do not dwell on how they hurt you. Focus on how you can heal them. You have more power than you know, my child. The purity of your heart can rewrite fate. In these next 2 days, I want you to speak blessings over them, not curses. Pray not that they suffer for their mistakes, but that they awaken from their pain. For the love you send will act as a light that exposes every lie around them. Say in your heart, God, let them see the truth. Let them feel your mercy. Let them return to the light before it's too late. Each word you speak in love becomes an arrow of light piercing the darkness surrounding them. Even now, as you listen to this message, your soulmate's soul stirs. Something deep inside them feels unsettled, as if they can sense that time is running short. They may not know what's happening, but their heart is reaching out for help. And heaven has chosen you to answer that call. Do not be afraid of this responsibility, my beloved. You were not chosen because you are perfect, you were chosen because your love is real. Because you still believe in the power of light even after walking through darkness yourself. Remember this, your soulmate's tragic fate can still be changed. What looks impossible to you is a simple breath to me. I am not asking you to carry their pain, I am asking you to carry faith. I will handle the rest. The next 48 hours will be sacred. Heaven will watch your prayers, your energy, your thoughts. Every act of love you send will create ripples that reach your soulmate. Speak their name with compassion. Surround them with divine light in your imagination. Picture them standing in front of you, covered in white light, free from fear, free from confusion. As you do this, angels will stand beside them. They will block every negative influence, every whisper of despair, every false friend that tries to lead them away. And when the final hour comes, I will give them a sign, a vision, a dream, a sudden realization that will shake their soul awake. They will not understand why they suddenly feel the need to stop, to think, to pray. But that will be your love reaching them. It will be your prayer breathing life into their spirit. My child, you are not powerless. You are the answer to a cry they didn't know how to speak. I have placed in you the strength to change their ending. So do not give up. Do not let fear stop you. Stand in faith. Because your soulmate's story is not over, and through your prayer, I will write a new one. Remember, 2 days. 2 days to love beyond pride. 2 days to forgive without reason. 2 days to believe even when you cannot see. And when you do, heaven will move mountains. I promise you, my child, the miracle has already begun. The air grows heavier around the world of your soulmate. The silence that surrounds them is not peaceful, it is filled with invisible cries. Their spirit trembles beneath the weight of choices they never meant to make. Inside them, a war is raging, a quiet war between love and despair, between truth and lies. They look fine on the outside, but inside, their soul is collapsing into pieces. God watches them from above, not with anger, but with heartbreak. The divine voice whispers, "They have forgotten who they are, my child. They have wandered too far into shadows that pretend to be light. Your soulmate has been trying to fill their emptiness with the wrong things, people who only take from them, dreams that were never theirs, paths that lead away from peace. They are surrounded by voices that tell them they are not enough, that they have failed, that there is no point in trying anymore. And each day, those voices grow louder, drowning the sound of their own soul. But even in that darkness, something still glows faintly, a thread of light that connects them to you. That thread is love, unspoken yet alive, stretching across distance and time, unbroken even by silence. That is the thread heaven is protecting. God says, "My child, do not mistake their silence for rejection. Their heart still calls your name, even if their lips do not move. The bond between your souls was written long before your birth. You were chosen to be their mirror, their prayer, their hope when they lose their way. Somewhere deep within their spirit, your soulmate remembers you. In their dreams, your presence appears like a soft wind, or a voice that says, 'You can come back home.' They wake with tears on their pillow, not understanding why their heart feels like it's breaking without a reason. But God knows. Heaven sees the truth that eyes cannot. Your soulmate is being tested by darkness, not because they are evil, but because they carry a light powerful enough to threaten it. Every great soul faces such a storm before they awaken. And now, the storm is at its peak. You may have felt the sudden sadness for no reason, the restless nights, the strange ache in your chest. That is not your imagination. That is your soul hearing their cries. That is how divine connection works. When one heart trembles, the other feels it. When one falls, the other bends to catch them. God says softly, "My child, I have shown you glimpses of their pain because your love is the only prayer that can reach them. You are the voice I am using to call them back to the light." Your soulmate feels trapped. They are surrounded by people who do not truly love them, people who see their kindness as weakness, who drain their energy, who promise love but deliver chains. These people speak sweetly but carry poison beneath their tongues. And your soulmate, wounded and tired, has started to believe that this is what they deserve. But heaven disagrees. Heaven whispers, they deserve healing, not hurt. They deserve peace, not punishment. They deserve love, the kind you carry in your heart. You are not being asked to chase them, my child. You are being asked to pray for them. Your prayer can reach places your presence cannot. Your forgiveness can break chains that words cannot. When you speak their name with love, heaven bends to listen. When you cry for their healing, angels move. In the unseen realm, your words become light, waves of soft gold energy that travel through time and space, wrapping around their soul. They may not see it, but their heart begins to feel lighter, their mind begins to quiet, their body begins to rest. Love, in its purest form, begins to awaken them. That is how miracles begin. God says, "They are not lost, my child. They are being found through your faith." Every prayer you whisper is building a bridge between their darkness and my light. In the spiritual world, there is a room filled with your tears, not wasted, but collected by angels. Every tear holds power. Every sigh, every heartbreak, every sleepless night is not forgotten. These are sacred offerings that heaven uses to open closed doors. Meanwhile, your soulmate walks through a fog of confusion. They are haunted by guilt and memories they do not understand. Sometimes, they see your face in their mind and quickly look away, not knowing why their heart aches. They think they are imagining you. They are not. It is God reminding them of what is true. They are running from pain, not realizing that pain is following them because they have not healed. They are searching for love, not knowing that love has already been praying for them. God says, they cannot see you, but they feel you. They cannot hear you, but they sense the warmth of your spirit calling their name. You are their divine echo, their unseen miracle. Your soulmate's journey is not just physical, it is spiritual. Their soul is trapped in a web of fear, and every day, that web tightens. But there is still time, 2 days for light to break through, 2 days for love to reach them before the path becomes harder. Heaven is asking you not to lose faith. Your prayer will be the key. When you pray, do not ask for them to return quickly, ask for their soul to heal. Pray that they remember who they are, and where they come from. Pray that they are protected from every plan made against them. Pray that they find their way back to peace. For when one soul prays with pure love for another, miracles are written. Angels take those prayers like seeds and plant them in the heart of the one who needs them most. The moment they bloom, everything changes, the heart softens, the darkness loses power, and the light begins to rise. This is how your love is saving them, my child, not through force, but through faith. You may not know what they are going through, but God does. They may have fallen into the hands of someone who pretends to love them but secretly destroys them. They may have lost their sense of purpose, drowning in self-blame or false comfort. But your prayers are creating cracks in the wall around them, light is leaking in. And one day soon, they will look up from their confusion and whisper, "Why do I suddenly feel peace?" And in that moment, their soul will remember you. Because your love is not just human, it is divine. It was chosen by heaven long before time began. God says, "Do not let fear make you believe it's over. I am working through your love. I am restoring what was meant to be. I am guiding their steps even when they cannot see." Let your heart rest in this truth, even in separation, divine love is never lost. The same God who joined your souls is now protecting both paths. While you wait, heaven is preparing a transformation far deeper than reunion. It is the awakening of their spirit. So tonight, close your eyes and whisper their name into the light. See them surrounded by angels. See their pain dissolving, their tears turning to peace. Feel the warmth of your own heart expanding, that is your spirit healing theirs. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of their awakening. The night may be long, but the dawn is near. Heaven is not silent, it is working through you. And every time you choose love instead of bitterness, you bring them one step closer to being saved from the tragic fate that was never meant to be theirs. Hold on, God whispers gently. I am moving in ways you cannot see. Their soul is hearing you. The miracle has already begun. God says, my child, time is now trembling between light and shadow. The heavens have counted the hours, and only 2 days remain before the path of your soulmate is sealed in a way that cannot easily be undone. These 2 days are not ordinary, they are sacred windows through which destiny can still be rewritten. What happens next depends not on fear, but on faith. Your soulmate stands at a crossroads, weary and lost. Their heart beats slower beneath the weight of confusion. There are voices around them, soft yet poisonous, whispering lies that sound like comfort. They do not know that these words come from the enemy who seeks to pull them away from light. The darkness wants to convince them that love is over, that hope is dead, that they are too broken to be saved. But I, the Lord your God, say this clearly, they are not beyond saving, and your love is the bridge that can carry them home. You see, my child, the enemy does not attack the weak. It attacks those who carry great purpose. Your soulmate carries light that could awaken many hearts, and that is why the shadows are chasing them. But what darkness forgets is that I have already placed a warrior beside them, and that warrior is you. Your heart is my vessel. Your tears are my prayers. When you ache, I feel it too. When you whisper their name at night, the heavens record it. When you cry for their safety, angels are dispatched from the gates of light. You are not helpless. You are chosen. These 2 days will test your spirit. You will feel waves of sadness, confusion, or even fear, not because you are weak, but because your soul is standing in battle for someone you love. Do not run from these feelings. Sit with them, hold them, and then release them into my light. Every time you do, you pull your soulmate further from the edge. I am showing you this not to burden you, but to prepare you. Your prayers in these 2 days will carry the power to shift destiny. I have placed a spiritual key inside your heart, a key made of pure love and forgiveness. Use it now, my child. Close your eyes when you pray, and see their face not as broken, but as whole. Speak not from pain, but from peace. Say their name and imagine my light surrounding them like golden fire. Forgive what hurt you. Release what chained you. Let your prayer flow like a river, not as a demand, but as surrender. For I tell you this truth, when a soul prays with unconditional love, heaven bends to listen. Your soulmate's heart is trembling in secret. They may not show it to the world, but I see it clearly. They stare at the ceiling at night and whisper, "Why do I feel so empty?" They wonder why their dreams have grown cold, why joy feels distant, why they can't escape the guilt of leaving what was real for something that only shines on the surface. Their soul remembers you, my child. Deep within, they feel the echo of your love calling them back to peace. They think it's only a memory, but it is my voice speaking through the bond one placed between you. In the next 2 days, their spirit will be tested. They will face a choice, between illusion and truth, between ego and love, between the temporary comfort of darkness and the eternal warmth of light. This is their moment of awakening. But they cannot walk through it alone, they need the energy of your faith to strengthen their steps. So do not despair when you feel sudden sadness or when you sense their distance. That is the storm before their transformation. You must not stop now, my child. Stand in love, even when your heart shakes. Stand in faith, even when your eyes cannot see the outcome. I am moving behind the scenes. I am speaking to their heart in dreams, sending signs they cannot ignore. They will begin to feel discomfort in places they once found pleasure. They will see truth where they once saw lies. This discomfort is not punishment, it is my mercy awakening them. Do not pray for them to feel happy, pray for them to feel truth. For truth, though painful, leads to freedom. In these 2 days, heaven will align many things. The people who deceive them will begin to show their real faces. The false promises will begin to crumble. And as everything built on illusion falls apart, your soulmate will finally see the purity of what they left behind. That is when your love, pure and silent, will guide them home. My child, remember, love is not control. Love is not obsession. Love is not possession. True love is prayer in motion. It is light that asks for nothing but the other soul's healing. When you love like this, you become a vessel of miracles. There is a moment coming when they will look up and feel a sudden warmth in their chest, that is your spirit reaching them. That is the moment your prayer pierces their darkness. And though they may not understand it, their heart will begin to soften. Every second counts now. For in the unseen, angels are standing at their side. Archangel Michael guards them as they sleep. Archangel Raphael surrounds them with green light for healing. I have sent my army of love to protect their soul from the pit of regret. But they still must choose the light, and your faith will help them find it. So pray this, my child, not from fear, but from truth. God, let your will be done in the life of my soulmate. Heal their wounds, silence the lies around them, and fill their heart with your light. Protect them from every trap. Guide them back to peace, whether through me or through your divine hand. Let them remember love, not pain. Let them awaken before time runs out. When you speak these words with faith, I turn them into fire. That fire burns through illusions, heals wounds, and restores what was stolen. You have wondered if your prayers truly matter. I tell you now, they are the very reason your soulmate is still breathing in grace. Every sigh, every tear, every whisper that came from your heart has been turned into strength for their soul. You are their intercessor. You are the silent miracle they will never fully understand until they awaken. In these 2 days, I will bring divine interruptions into their life. Unexpected signs. Strange coincidences. Encounters that stir their heart. These are not random, these are my touch. You may not see these moments, but your spirit will feel them. And when you feel warmth or peace suddenly wash over you, know that your prayer has reached them. Do not let fear whisper that it is too late. Do not let impatience blind you to my timing. I am the God of the impossible. I can turn ashes into beauty in a single breath. Trust that every moment of pain you endured was not wasted, it was the soil where I planted your miracle. My child, your soul carries divine authority because it carries love. And love is my highest power. Use it now. Speak light, not despair. Speak faith, not doubt. Speak healing, not revenge. Your voice echoes through realms beyond sight. And in that echo, destinies are being rewritten. 2 days remain, but fear not. For I am the God who can turn 1 second into salvation. The tragedy that was planned is already trembling before my light. The shadow that sought to take them is losing its strength. The door of mercy is open, and your prayer is the key that will close it after light enters. Rest tonight knowing that I am near. Do not look at the clock, look at the cross. For what was finished there cannot be undone here. Love will triumph. Light will rise. And your soulmate will be saved, not by force, but by grace. You will know when the shift happens, your heart will feel lighter, your mind calmer, and your spirit peaceful. That peace will be your sign that heaven has moved. Hold on, my beloved child. Do not give up in the final hours. For when faith stands firm, miracles unfold like morning sun. And when this test is over, you will understand, you were not saving them alone. You were walking beside me, helping me bring one lost soul back home. Now go in peace, my child. The countdown has begun, but so has redemption. Keep your heart open, for I am writing the miracle even now. God says, my child, the battle has begun. In the unseen realm, light and darkness now face each other for the soul I created with love, the soul that belongs to your soulmate. The air of the spirit world trembles. Angels spread their wings, glowing brighter than 1,000 suns, while shadows rise to resist them. The fight is not with swords of metal but with energy, intention, and truth. Your soulmate lies in a place of confusion, unaware of the storm around them. They think they are merely tired, restless, or afraid, but what they feel is the vibration of war, heaven and hell both calling their name. I stand above it all, my child, watching not with fear but with purpose. For I am not a God who loses battles. I am a God who writes victory in silence. And this battle is being fought not through anger or revenge, but through love, the love that flows through your heart. Every prayer you whisper, every tear you shed, becomes a weapon of light in the hands of angels. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, a sword of truth is sharpened. Every time you speak life over them instead of resentment, the darkness loses ground. You may not see this with your eyes, but your spirit is standing in the battlefield beside Archangel Michael himself. He moves with divine authority, his voice shaking the air of eternity. He calls your soulmate's name with power, saying, "You belong to light. You belong to peace. You belong to love." And in that moment, chains begin to break. The forces of darkness cry out in fear, for they cannot touch what is covered by faith. Your soulmate's soul trembles. They begin to dream of things they cannot explain. Dreams of light breaking through heavy clouds, dreams of a familiar voice calling them home. That is me, speaking through the thread that ties you both together. Their tears are beginning to fall, though they don't know why. They feel a deep sadness rise in their chest, that is their soul remembering truth. They will try to silence it with distraction, but my light will keep knocking until they open the door. My child, I know the waiting has been hard. You have cried, you have questioned, you have wondered if I even hear you. I tell you now, every cry from your soul has become a command to heaven. Every ache has become an instruction to angels. When you thought I was silent, I was gathering the armies of light. Right now, Archangel Raphael moves around your soulmate, pouring green light into their wounds. The pain they have carried from childhood, the guilt they hide behind laughter, the anger they carry from betrayal, all of it is being pulled to the surface, for light cannot heal what remains hidden. That is why they may feel lost, emotional, or restless. It is not punishment. It is purification. I am stripping away the lies that have covered their heart for too long. I am breaking every false attachment, every deceitful promise, every toxic bond. It hurts because it is leaving them. The spirit resists healing when it has become too familiar with pain. But love, my child, love will not stop until it restores. And so I tell you, your prayers are being answered in real time. The darkness is losing. The war is shifting. You may not hear the trumpets of victory yet, but in the unseen, they are already sounding. You must continue now, my beloved child. Keep your light steady. Do not speak words of fear. Speak only what is true. My soulmate is protected by divine light. No darkness can touch them. God's will shall be done. Every time you say those words, I release another wave of grace into their life. I know it feels like you are fighting alone, but I am with you in every breath. When you close your eyes, I place my hand upon your head. When you whisper their name, I carry it across realms. When you break down in tears, I hold those tears and use them as healing water for their soul. Do you not see, my child? You are part of this miracle. Your heart was chosen because it knows how to love without condition. That is why I connected you to their soul, not to suffer endlessly, but to awaken through compassion. The power of your love is changing their timeline. The tragedy that was meant to come is trembling. I am rewriting their ending because you stood in faith when everything looked lost. In the darkness around your soulmate, the enemy is losing control. The lies it whispered now sound hollow. The comfort it offered now burns. The people it used to distract them are beginning to show their true faces, masks falling, intentions exposed. The truth is rising like the dawn, and though it blinds them at first, it will free them soon. In this war of light, I need you to remain still in spirit. You don't need to fight through worry, you need to fight through trust. Say this in your heart, God, I release control. I trust that your light is fighting for them. I stand in peace because I know you are greater than any storm. When you declare this, your vibration rises. And when your vibration rises, your soulmate feels it. Peace will begin to reach them like a soft wind, and they will finally rest after many nights of inner chaos. This is how love heals, not by force, but by vibration. Not by noise, but by faith. Your soulmate will soon start noticing signs. They will see feathers, hear your name, feel warmth for no reason, or sense déjà vu moments that lead them back to what is real. They will not understand immediately, but these are reminders from me that they are not alone. And when they pause, even for a second, to wonder what is happening, light enters. That is how darkness loses. One small opening of faith is all heaven needs to pour through. The enemy will try one last time to pull them back. It will tempt them with old habits, with people who seem comforting, with lies that sound logical. Do not panic. That is the final shake before freedom. Stand firm, my child. For even if they stumble again, my grace will not let them fall completely. I am sending angels to hold them steady. The war is almost over. The light is about to win. My child, remember this always: love is the greatest weapon in the universe. It cannot be destroyed, it cannot be stolen, and it cannot fail. The kind of love you carry is the kind that changes destinies. I placed it inside you because I knew one day, it would save not only your soulmate but also awaken your own soul to divine purpose. So breathe now. The storm is clearing. The battle is almost done. You will soon feel a shift, a calmness in your spirit, a deep knowing that the danger has passed. When that moment comes, you will know that your soulmate has been pulled out of the pit. And then, a miracle will unfold quietly. They will start to reach for light. They will begin to remember love, to crave peace, to seek truth. That is when I will begin to guide them back, not in chaos, but in divine timing. My promise stands: I will not let tragedy write their ending. I will not let darkness steal what I have blessed. You will see, my child, that what seemed lost will return in a form purified by faith. You will see that your love was never in vain. And you will see how I turn pain into purpose, sorrow into strength, and heartbreak into healing. So keep your light burning. Speak softly. Love deeply. Trust completely. You are not alone in this. The heavens stand beside you. The battle between light and darkness is ending. Victory belongs to love. And soon, my beloved child, you will feel the miracle bloom, not as noise, but as peace. Not as tears of pain, but as tears of relief. Rest now. The hardest part is over. I am here, and I am winning this battle for you. My child, the final day has come. The 2 days that were once before you have now almost faded into the pages of destiny. The clock has turned, and the air around you is whispering a new message. You can feel it in your spirit, the weight, the ache, and the strange silence before a divine awakening. Do not fear, my beloved. What was meant to destroy your soulmate has already begun to lose its power. The tragic fate that was chasing them like a shadow has been stopped by your faith. You did not realize it, but every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered, and every moment you thought of them with love created a shield around them. You may not have seen the battle, but the heavens did. The angels saw you rise when the world told you to fall. Tonight, as you sit in stillness, I want you to know, your love did not go unheard. I was there when you called their name into the night. I was there when you doubted, when you feared you were too late. But I say to you, my child, love is never late when it is pure. It moves through time and space, breaking the laws of life and destiny. That love reached your soulmate, and because of it, they are being pulled away from the edge of tragedy. Right now, they are lost between two paths, one that leads to destruction and one that leads to rebirth. Your light is guiding them. Your prayers are echoing in their dreams, reminding them of who they are. The darkness is fighting, but it is weakening. They are beginning to awaken. Your soulmate has started to feel something inside their heart, a voice, faint but divine. That voice is mine, speaking through the love you carry. I am telling them, you are not forgotten. Someone still believes in you. My child, I know you have carried pain silently. You have loved deeply, even when they walked away. You stayed even when they turned cold. And though the world calls it foolishness, I call it divine strength. You are not weak for loving. You are not naive for believing. You are chosen to love in a way that heals souls and awakens destinies. Listen closely, the angels are whispering your name beside your soulmate now. They are being shown memories of your love, the way your presence once made their heart feel alive. They are remembering the warmth that no one else could ever replace. And in that remembrance, their spirit is beginning to turn back toward the light. The tragic fate that was written for them, the one that would have ended everything, is being rewritten. Do you feel that chill in your chest? That is the energy shifting. The storm is breaking apart. You have done more than you realize. My beloved child, there are moments when I test love, not to hurt, but to reveal. I allowed this darkness to come close not to destroy them, but to show them what real love does. Real love does not abandon, even when distance grows. Real love prays, even when the heart is breaking. Real love fights quietly, not for attention, but for salvation. You have shown me that kind of love. That is why I have intervened. That is why the curse, the darkness, and the tragic energy surrounding your soulmate are now dissolving like smoke under sunlight. Do not question how it will happen. Miracles are already unfolding beyond your sight. There are people, circumstances, and divine alignments that are being moved into place right now. You may feel delays, but I see destiny. You may feel uncertainty, but I see resurrection. In the coming hours, your soulmate will begin to see signs, flashes of light, dreams that feel too real, moments where they will hear your name in the wind. These are not coincidences. These are reminders from heaven that love still waits, that forgiveness still exists, and that redemption is still possible. Your soul and theirs were written on the same page long before the world was born. You were never meant to end in pain. You were meant to awaken through pain. This separation, this fear, these tears, they were all a part of the refining fire that burns away illusions and leaves only truth. And the truth is this: you are both being led back to the divine path where your souls will meet again, not in confusion, but in purpose. The love that once broke will return healed. The one who ran will seek you again, not out of guilt, but out of recognition. My child, you saved them not by force, but by faith. You did not need to chase them across lands or beg them to stay. You simply believed, and that belief carried my power. You became a vessel through which my grace flowed to them. And now, I am restoring what pain tried to destroy. As this message ends, take a deep breath. Feel the stillness around you, that is my presence. Feel the warmth in your heart, that is your soulmate's soul, reaching out through the bond one created. You are connected beyond distance, beyond time, beyond logic. Do not be afraid if you suddenly feel emotional in the next few moments. That is the divine connection awakening between you both. You may feel a pull toward prayer, or an urge to speak their names softly. Do it. Every word you speak in love now travels straight to their spirit. It strengthens them. It calls them home. In 2 days' time, a change will happen, one that will make your heart tremble, not with pain, but with awe. Something you thought was gone forever will begin to return. A sign will appear, a message, a sudden knowing. Do not doubt it. That will be me confirming what I promised. Your soulmate has been saved from the tragic fate that was once written. You will look back on this time and realize that nothing was ever random. Every heartbreak had a purpose. Every sleepless night was planting a seed of strength. Every tear became a prayer that reached the gates of heaven. Now, it is time to rest. You have done your part. Let me do mine. Surrender it all, the fear, the longing, the doubt, and I will fill you with peace that no storm can steal. My child, I am proud of you. You walked through fire and came out shining. You loved through silence, and that love changed destiny. From this day forward, may your life be filled with signs of divine renewal. Your soulmate will rise. You will heal. And what was once broken will become a testimony of my glory. So I bless you now, with peace that calms your heart, with light that protects your path, and with love that never fades. The 2 days are not days of ending, but days of beginning. When the clock turns again, everything will start to make sense. You will see them again. You will feel the divine connection stronger than ever. And when you do, you will know, it was your faith, your patience, and your pure heart that saved them from a tragic fate. Now, rest in my love. The battle is over. The miracle has begun.
Hallo Sam, danke für den Lurk. Leider funktioniert aktuell kein einziger Command, der über Streamerbot geht. Darunter fällt auch leider der Lurk-Command. Ja, ich muss es leider fixen. Obwohl er aktiv ist und mir anzeigt, dass alles eigentlich in Ordnung ist. Mag er nicht. Weiß ich nicht. Aber schön, dass du da bist. Und danke für den Lurk.